Welcome to The Breakdown, the 21st installment. It is Monday, January 15th. We are live here in New York City. We are joined today by Mike Steadman, the founder of Ironbound Fitness.
President of Ironbound.
President of Ironbound, my apologies. Becca Keating is our Chief Development Officer at our HQ. I don't know if she's ever been on The Breakdown before, so we'll give her an intro. She's got some exciting news to talk about. And then also Don Johnston is the Executive Director here at Bunker Labs, New York City, as well as the co-founder of Lima Charlie News. So usually we have like that intro graphic, but we're doing a single camera today because we're on the road. So just bear with us on this technological journey. I know we said we'd improve like the audio and everything, but I think this is pretty good for traveling a couple thousand miles. So anyways, welcome all of you. Becca, what are we doing here in New York City?
All right, well, we are in New York because we are going to be competing in the global finals for the Creator Awards on Wednesday evening. This is all part of WeWork's initiative to highlight the stories of all the creators that are in their midst around the world. And we are just super excited and grateful to be here. Always a great opportunity to see our friends in New York, our local chapter leaders, and great opportunity for us to be back in the Veterans in Residence space, which we just launched in November, a couple months ago. So doing a check-in on that. We're gonna try to win some money for veterans and help them become entrepreneurs on Wednesday night, and just lots to celebrate.
And you can watch that live. Shameless plug here. Becca is going to be pitching in front of 5,000 people, no pressure. We'll promote that live link. If you're in New York City and you're somewhere around West 57th Street, feel free to pop on by this WeWork location. We'll be here all week, in and out. What else was I going to say? Never mind, forget it. But anyway, Mike.
Yeah.
So on to you. So Mike, you are working out of this space.
I am. I'm the community manager for Bunker Labs, NYC VIR, so Veteran in Residence.
Yeah. So you're here. You're running your business simultaneously as you're occupying.
Yep.
What is Ironbound?
So Ironbound USA, we're a network of programs and services that cater to the interests of inner city youth. Ironbound was originally started by my business partner Gary Bohr to teach personal branding to inner city youth, so really helping them understand what it means to have like a professional reputation, particularly like this age of like social media and the digital footprint. And then my background in boxing at the Naval Academy, we partnered up to create Ironboundboxing and education, and so that's the direction we're going with it. So essentially what we're trying to do is get kids off the street in Newark, get them in positive recreational programs, and then build upon those relationships to force social change.
It's incredible. It's powerful. Amazing.
I just said that for the first time.
That's it. Good job. First time. Speaking of pitching, what's that? So you're in this space right now where you're going around and you're selling your idea and you're selling yourself. That's a big part of entrepreneurship is you. You're investing in you. What's your experience like right now pitching?
So you get better each time. So I think a lot of times when people are pitching, if you're gonna make a pivot, or sometimes you can pitch the same pitch deck over and over again. But a lot of times that's not really going to lead to progress. Sometimes you need to go bold, and it's not always about like, okay, winning this competition when I'm pitching. It's like if I'm going to try a new idea. So with Ironbound, we made a pivot recently where we're going to be utilizing technology. And so even though I've never pitched that before, and I know my other pitch deck has been good, incorporating that in. So whether you win or lose, you just know that, hey, you can gauge your reactions on that. So I would say, don't be afraid to try new things, because you can pitch the same pitch deck and the same spiel over and over and over again to death. But if you're thinking about something different, don't be afraid to do that. So
there's a lot of time you'll get great feedback from people in the audience or the judges on the panel or other people who might step forward as mentors that have heard you. I mean, I heard you pitch here at the Muster and immediately wanted to talk to you because I was so impressed by you and the work you were doing. So be able to incorporate that pivot, it's kind of like a free test ground to see what people think about it, and that's awesome. It's smart.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You just got to go, like I say, go bold sometimes.
Yeah. And I want to just circle back on the idea in itself and the principle. And you and I were talking offline a couple hours ago about this, and what I think is really interesting is you said it yourself. You're not trying to reinvent the wheel. You're just trying to improve an existing infrastructure, basically. So Talk about that a little bit. Like, what are you seeing like success? Like,
So initially we were pitching Ironbound as we want to be the 21st equivalent of the Boys and Girls Club, right? So me and Gary, we built this Ironboundboxing Academy in Newark. It's a nonprofit boxing gym where kids can come and train for free. And our deal was to expand upon that model, include a career center, a technology center, an art studio. So whenever I've gone to these pitch competitions, I've always been there with like technology people, and here I am talking about nonprofit in the inner city. And then one of the things that's always come up is because when I present, sometimes I can be so overwhelming, I think, just emotional and really get into it, that it looks like the venture is solely on me and my business partner. So how do you make it work without us? And so that was just going to these competitions. Finally, I had a light bulb go off and said, hey, wait a minute. What if you don't have to reinvent the wheel? What if we don't have to, build out 10 different Ironbound academies all over the country? What if, one of the most underutilized assets right now are existing recreational services already that kids aren't using.
right.
So if we can have a way to where we funnel kids into those existing recreational centers under the Ironbound banner, I think we can accomplish the same task and do it faster and cheaper and be able to impact more kids. But the only reason I came up with that was because actually not having this idea of like in a bubble, putting it out there, being in the hot seat, and then forcing me to think about like, okay, how do we scale this thing because of the questions people have been asking.
Right.
So the technology came out of a need, not within itself.
Mm-hmm. So technology is the innovation, and then you're actually giving yourself another service by not going and trying to, buy property and house these
Exactly.
things. You're taking existing infrastructure, and you're basically the broker.
Yeah, what we realized is that maybe the 21st century Boys and Girls Clubs, or YMCA, look less like the current model, and maybe look more something like an Airbnb, right? To where we kind of have this like digital network that accomplishes the same thing.
It's cool. The Airbnb of the Boys and Girls Club.
Yes.
It's quite a metaphor.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I'm not a technology person.
Yeah.
So that's why things like Bunker Lab are so important because, within this VIR, we have people that are doing software, we got people doing analytics. So just being able to bounce ideas off of each other. When we came up with this idea, someone in the VR told me, he said, what you're talking about is software as a service. So coming up with a SaaS platform. And so like that was the first time I ever heard that. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Any other questions for you guys? I think
How'd you get into boxing?
Yeah,
exactly. Boxing.
Yeah, you're like you won something.
Yeah, so I was a 3-time national champion in college at the Naval Academy for light heavyweight. Yeah, for light heavyweight.
Light heavyweight. That sounds like what is that?
So
Light heavyweight.
I was 175 pounds in college.
Okay.
Now I walk around probably like 225.
Okay.
But yeah, I boxed it all 4 years. I actually got into boxing because at the Naval Academy, one of the things they make us do is do a sport. And so one day, we had to pick a sport. At first I thought I was going to do crew, but this was before like CrossFit blew up. And I ran to the crew house and we were just pulling this thing called erg, and I was like, okay, this is stupid. I thought I was going to do it. Yeah, I thought this was before CrossFit, so I was like, I thought we were going to like get on the water and row a boat, but you just go to this field house and row erg for 3 days. I was like, I'm not doing that. And so I walked into the boxing gym, and the first day the coach made us spar. And then I was just like such an exciting feeling. I was like, okay, I want to learn how to do this. I want to be comfortable doing it. And so, fast forward, and I've just been in love with it ever since.
Yeah. It's awesome. So you have a passion for it, you have a unique position to go, and it's like you're hitting all the right checks.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I've been coaching it. Like I said, once I finished boxing in college, I've been coaching it since about 2010. I would always coach my teammates. So there's just like a long history here going back to 2006. So I'm real happy to be able to bring it to Newark and share it with others.
It's amazing.
Awesome.
We look forward to hearing more things down the road. Don, tell me about Lima Charlie.
LimaCharlieNews.com. Go check it out. 63% of Americans don't trust the mainstream media. We've known that for quite some time now. And we're in an atmosphere where it's very popular, but we realized, and the numbers actually suggest that the majority, almost the same amount of Americans, trust veterans to do the right thing at any given time, which is profound. So we thought, what if we put veterans in charge of reporting the news? And then what if we link them up around the world with our NATO allies? And we're able to get ground intelligence, real stories, real news from people who actually have operational backgrounds and security backgrounds and intelligence backgrounds.
Right.
So that's where we started. We started off actually as a documentary, showcasing what I found in Bunker Labs to be a very normal thing, which is the bond that we all share.
Right.
So we wanted to create the same thing, showcase that while we travel around, kind of like what you're doing in New York now, traveling around and showing your bond with us and everybody else, and showcase that from, again, our NATO allies and the people that we fought with, and in areas that really meant something to us as soldiers and service members alike. But now that's morphed into news and think tank style research, which is pretty impressive, and we're really celebrating what veterans can do, you know, with our minds and our talents and innovation and tenacity outside of you know, combat arms stuff that we hear about all the time in the media.
It's amazing. And your analogy earlier was like Vice News.
Well, you know, so Vice News run by veterans, you know, very, very similar model. And more on a global scale. We want to keep not just breaking news, but we really want to do investigative reporting, which, again, the Bunker Labs Network has been insane about that. They reached out to somebody at a local chapter in a different state, and they were more than happy to assist our reporters in some investigative reporting, which is going to come out very soon. So we're content heavy, very unique stuff, not clickbait, none of that. It's a completely different model. And then we're taking intelligence and we're doing something else with it, which we'd like to call it the Spotify, if we're doing those analogies, the Spotify of the intelligence community, which I'm not going to get into too much detail about.
It's top secret.
Right.
Yeah, we're really trying to change things and hopefully get the people around the world to come together and get the information out there that it should be.
It's terrific.
So
it's amazing. So LimaCharlieNews.com.
That's it.
And then so you're also the executive director here at New York.
Humbly. Thank you. I met Todd and the team in Chicago and you in May. It was so impressive. My background personally was as a Subway franchisee, you guys might have known. I used to mentor young and older, sometimes just different walks of life veterans who wanted to start their own businesses. And I thought, this is exactly what I was doing, but on a much larger scale and with 17 chapters, and New York City being one of them. I told my predecessor, Chad Arroyo, let me help out in any way possible. Lima Charlie will come and support your media or whatever content you need for free. And it turned into this. So I'm very excited to be here. And very thankful, yeah. Thanks.
And Chad was an awesome leader here too, and has huge, shoes for you to fill. Yeah. But I think that's been one of the things that I've really enjoyed. I've only been at the bunker for almost 2 years of spring, but to see some of the turnover happening, we're only just now about a 4-year organization, and to really see that the bunker's mission is being truly fulfilled and that a leader can step into the role, make it his or her own, really thrive and build that network to then launch themselves personally into their next venture, which Chad is doing. Mm-hmm. And then for you to kind of be able to come up and take on what he's built, and that's really cool to see because we're just starting to get into that flow now where people are moving on to do their own things, their own ventures, and passing the baton. And so welcome. We're really glad you're here.
And Chad is actually going to be speaking at our Bunker Brews.
On crypto. I actually was keep his live stream this. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, a couple of weeks back we had to talk about this. I'm deep in it right now. Some of our other city leaders are deep in the crypto game.
Chad's very deep in the crypto game.
Chad is he's beyond deep. He's in it. Chad, keep doing what you're doing. If you have any questions about crypto, feel free to message me on the app. I'll probably give you some bad intel, but still, it's fun for now.
Yeah, we'll definitely be asking him a lot of questions on January 25th.
Also got our some city leaders from Seattle and Austin chiming in. Jake, how's it going, man? And Sabrina.
Hi guys.
Hey, Boston's nice and warm. It's about 10 degrees here in New York. Left Chicago this morning. It was 6 inches of snow. I was like, all right, I'll get some warm weather. And
well, we went to Texas, and we know what happened.
Oh yeah,
it snowed when we all went to Texas for the first time in like 13 years. So. We tried that and it failed, but
that's what I do now.
We'll try it again.
When they say, "Oh yeah, I've been to San Antonio," I was there when it snowed. They're like, they know exactly
that week.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
That was crazy.
So last thing, so we do this every week. We go around and we say a hack or a resource or a tool that we use in our own lives that can help make us more productive or support our early stage startups. What are some things that you are already using, whether it be like a blog, podcast, website, something cool, whatever it might be? What are you using that makes your life easier?
Me first?
Yeah.
Google Calendar. I got them on that. But no, seriously, for me, I research everything to death. Any venture I've ever been part of, research, read as many books as possible. I have a stack of books from Amazon that I haven't even gotten to, probably like 20 books I haven't gotten to, but research and read everything. Any online resources, if you want to learn about anything, they're out there, like our Launch Lab Online for Bunker Labs. It's an amazing resource if you want to start your business. Just learn some of the basic stuff about where to start. Sometimes you just need to know where to put the first step. You go to the Launch Lab Online, and it's an amazing resource. So that's what I do: research.
I didn't even tell him to say that. If you're a freaking watcher, you might have seen last week. I said Launch Lab Online a baker's dozen times. So Launch Lab Online. What do you know about it? Let's talk about it in the comments. Launch Lab Online is launching January 23rd. We're trying to get 1,000 military veterans to step forward and start their own business. This is a 10-week linear education course that teaches you the basics of entrepreneurship. I think we're at somewhere around 600 people signed up already. We'll be putting community management and challenges and creating opportunities for engagement. So sign up today. Go to bunkerlabs.org/launchlabonline, or you can just go to the website and kind of find it through programs. So thank you for bringing that up.
My
Sorry,
pleasure.
I had to do it. Shameless plug. Spent so much time on it. Can you just sign up even if you're not going to do it? Just do it.
It's
With
fun.
your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Please, for me. Anyway, Becca, what about you?
This is going to seem shameless, but it's 100% true. If you are a creator, or if you are doing something, if you're an entrepreneur, apply for the Creator Awards. This seems obvious for me to mention, but with the global finals happening on Wednesday, they're going to be announcing a new application process. I think they're already starting with the next batch of regional competition or regional applications. It's been an incredible adventure and process, and they give out big rewards for people that are, doing great work. What I think is especially cool about the Creator Awards is it's for nonprofits and for-profits alike. So they put everyone together, which is really great because both of those groups should be recognized, social enterprises. And it's just an incredible experience all around. So it seems like an obvious one, but I think more people need to learn about the Creator Awards. People need to check it out. People need to apply. And if you have any questions about the experience, the application, please feel free to reach out to me through the app. I'm happy to answer any questions.
WeWork Creator Awards.
Yeah, WeWork Creator Awards. If you Google it, they've got a whole site dedicated to it. And it'll be coming to a city or a region near you very soon, I'm sure.
Yep. Very cool.
So the first plug I'm going to give is make sure you apply to the VIR programs. So we've got 10 tribes and 10 cities across the country, and who knows where this thing could go, a year from now, 2 years from now. But, before you apply, get out to the Bunker Brews, make yourself known to the chapter leaders so people are aware you are. And the second thing I'm going to plug is Stanford Ignite Post 9/11 program. I had an opportunity to go to that program this summer. It's available to all veterans. You complete your application online. And if you're able to make it into that cohort, it's literally life-changing. Not that you're going to walk away with capital, but they're going to teach you the process of how to take an idea, this venture idea, and pitch it into a board of VCs. Everything I've ever done since leaving Stanford Ignite, I've been using a lot of the documents I created while I was there and then just updating them as I go, because a lot of applications, whether it's the Creator Awards, whether it's the VIR, they're always going to ask you what's the problem, what's the solution. But if it's your first time hearing that lingo, you're going to be at a disadvantage. So I encourage you to apply to Stanford Ignite. If you have any questions about it, or how to make your application more competitive, feel free to reach out to me online. Mike Steadman at bunkerlabs.org.
Hey Mike, what's VIR stand for?
Veteran in Residence.
Okay, so if I wanted to find out about that program, what should I Google probably?
Veteran and residents we work.
Okay, yeah, there we
I
go.
think
So-
it's we.co/.
Yeah.
We're not giving away any living space.
Right,
Right?
yeah, we've got.
It's a workspace.
space for veterans.
Yeah, it's a co-working
Yeah.
space. So
That's right.
if you're really motivated and you have your venture and you're working on it, it's a great resource. One, to tap into the WeWork network, and the other thing is just be here and be around positive individuals, people that are working on their ventures and growing their businesses. I know in New York City's VR, we've got somebody who owns a brewery. We've got Don here who runs Lima Charlie News. You know, myself doing so the full spectrum of different ventures. So it's a great program. Don't sleep on it.
Yeah, if you want, and if I may, if you want to just check out the Facebook, the New York City Bunker Labs Facebook. We have a nice little VIR, kind of like a commercial, if you will.
Yeah.
It shows off a little bit of the personalities of some of the VIR people we have now.
And that program is available in 10 cities, and it's a rolling 6-month application. So when you get to that page, you can apply, and we'll be putting 10 veteran-owned companies into each cohort, so 100 companies every 6 months.
It's amazing. It's an amazing program.
Very
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah.
So be seen. If
So we're
applying-
by the way, we're there.
Yeah.
We're here right now. So we're
Right,
in.
we're
We're in
sitting
like
in the
the WeWork.
space.
Yeah,
This
our
is it.
space.
Yeah.
There's like
Pretty
3
classy.
more space this way. There's more space that way. This is a cool area. So I have 2 acts. One of them is literal. I literally have been like hacking for like a week. So Dayquil. Yeah, I've been sick. It's going around. So Dayquil, my first hack. My second one is a podcast that I recently one of my buddies told me to listen to. It's called Dorm Room Tycoon. It's a startup, kind of startup podcast. It's like How I Built This. They interview they interview like the founder of what was the one I listened to the other day? Like Mixpanel, like data analytics, like things like that. Or so basically they talk about it's like how to get people to use your product, how to scale whatever, and it's like from unicorn founders saying like, this is where we messed up, this is where we made it better, whatever. It's these very simple ideas, and it's fascinating. So it's not so much around how I built a business, it's how I solved a specific problem for my business. So
That's cool.
Dorm Room Tycoon is my hack. It's a great free podcast. So we will send out the link on Wednesday to watch the Creator Awards. We hope you'll watch. Should be pretty interesting. Becca's going to do really great.
I have a 60
Mike is,
second.
yeah,
He's
Mike
gonna
is
be on
also going to
stage
be
too.
speaking as
This
well.
guy.
Yeah.
Mike will be on stage too.
Yeah,
What we got here?
very proud.
Teresa Piasta from Puppy Mama.
Teresa Piazza from Puppy Mama. Is that next week?
Yes,
That's next Monday. So next Monday, we will have Puppy Mama.
Puppy
I
Mama.
will. The reason I don't know this, I will be not here next weekend. I know it's going to make a lot of people sad. I will not be here next week, so I've been away from email. I'm starting to tear up thinking about it. So, anyways, thank you so much for joining us in the breakdown, and you'll hear more soon. Have a great evening.
Thanks.
Cool.
Yeah,
That was
nice.
awesome.
That was fun.
I made all that stuff up.